A big financial lifeline for Algoma Steel, one of the major steel companies in our country. The federal and Ontario governments are teaming up to offer $500 million from Ottawa, $400 million from Ontario, $100 million. Company has been hard hit by American tariffs launched by President Trump as part of his trade war against our country. Today in Sault Ste. Marie, we heard from the federal jobs minister on what this hopefully will mean. Listen to this.
The federal government, as you know, has stepped up with the provincial government to make sure that we can actually protect this industry. Listen, steel is the backbone of our country. And you've heard us say this time and again. I hope that you truly feel how much we talk about steel, in particular at the federal cabinet table, and the importance of saving Canadian steel companies like Algoma and making sure that you thrive for the next 150 years. Because if we really are going to meet this moment with the ambition that the Prime Minister talks about, we need the fundamentals of building. And the fundamentals of building is Canadian steel.
So the loan here will help Algoma continue their operations and transition to a business model that is less reliant on the United States. Michael Garcia is standing by in Sault Ste. Marie. He is the president and CEO of Algoma Steel. Mr. Garcia, thanks for taking time for CTV today.
My pleasure.
What will this money be used for?
Well, I think you said it pretty clearly. It's going to be used to pivot our business model away from a business model that really existed for over a century. For 125 years, Algoma Steel has been making steel here on the banks of the St. Mary's River, less than a mile away from the U.S., and shipping 50 to 60% of that steel into the U.S. to customers that we've been supplying for long periods of time in integrated supply chains. But that's not the future that we are looking and faced with right now because of the trade policy pursued by the United States and the 50% tariff on Canadian steel. Algoma Steel is forced to adjust to this new reality and pivot our business towards a domestic market that we believe is going to be there and is going to grow into the future as the new government in Canada gets moving on building Canada strong, whether it's in defense, shipbuilding, infrastructure, or any manner of projects across the economy. And that's what Algoma Steel is working on. And this government loan is a key piece of providing the liquidity and the runway for us to make this change.
I know that you have about 2,700 employees, give or take, at Algoma. You talked about 50 to 60% of the steel being shipped to the U.S., so that gives our viewers at home a sense of just how important the American market has been traditionally for Algoma. You talked a little bit about the domestic market. There's also, of course, other countries as well. What are some of those possibilities? Can they actually realistically make up for a big chunk of what you already do business with in the States?
I think that the realistic potential is there. It will depend on a lot of things going right, a lot of key government decisions around Canadian procurement, lowering the regulatory hurdle to get projects approved, reaching agreements with other countries around the world around trade. So there's a lot of things that are components of it, but I believe it's going to happen. It won't happen overnight. Here at Algoma Steel, to use a hockey analogy, we're busy getting ready to skate to where the puck is going to be. The puck isn't quite there yet, but it takes us time to move in that direction. We can't do this overnight. When you're talking about a steel company and the type of assets and the type of investments that will be required to pivot and diversify towards that future demand here in Canada, it's going to take time, and that's why this loan is so important. But I do have faith that with everything in place and a coordinated vision led by the new government, that we're going to get there.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you one other question about a possible timeline, because as you know a lot better than I do, it's easy to say, we're going to find new markets, we're going to invest more domestically, we're going to look for other countries to step up, but that takes a lot of time. That does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a quarter, maybe even a year. I mean, realistically, can you give me any sense of what the timeline could be for you guys to kind of, rewire the software, so to speak, of what Algoma does and where you guys are doing business?
I think probably there's really two components. We're focusing on our plate business, and our plate business is the only plate mill in Canada. So that is going well, and we are adding to that as much as possible. So that probably will take a year to 18 months to expand our plate business, do more of the types of plate that's going to be demanded by increased defense and maritime spending, shipbuilding spending in Canada. And then we're looking at further diversification from making less coil to perhaps structural beams or other forms of finished product. That type of diversification, probably best case, would be a 2-year journey. So I think 18 months to 2 years is when you will start to see significant change in terms of our pivot to the Canadian market.
Mr. Garcia, I know it's busy. It's great to have you part of our coverage today on this news. Thanks for making time for CTV.
Thank you.
Michael Garcia there, the president and CEO of Algoma Steel. He is in Sault Ste. Marie today.